being recorded. Okay, so let's start the workshop then and the recording. Good to have you here. We are 12 people. This is a perfect size for a workshop because I want it to be practical and hands-on, and I really want to hear where you are and how I can help you, or how I could connect you to other people that might help you, or how we could be of help to each other, because this workshop is really meant to help community currency projects. Hello everybody, maybe please mute yourself while you're not speaking. There were some background noises. And hello to the newcomers. This workshop is recorded, so if you don't want to be on the recording, please turn off your camera and maybe anonymize your name. Otherwise, yeah, I think please mute yourself. I think I can. Or Aeon, could you please mute everyone? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, cool. So I share my screen because I've got a small presentation. Can you see it? Okay. Yeah, this workshop is called How to Start a Community Currency as a Non-Profit. I'm super excited to be here with you guys, and this is our journey ahead. Yeah, just a small introduction from me, and then I wanted to have some breakout sessions. Actually, I think why we are 12 people or 13 people right now. So maybe I would ask you to just write in the chat where you're from and why you're interested to do it, because I think we're gonna have a very lively discussion from about 1 on, or 1 or 5. So I would really like to hear all of our voices then. So I think we're gonna skip the breakout session, but we're gonna have a Miro board where we can just where I want to map where we are and in the process of doing a community currency. And then I will introduce the community currency that I'm involved in, the social coin in Siegen, and talk about community currencies and the challenges in general. And yeah, as I said, then we're gonna have a hopefully lively discussion all together. And I also give some next steps for people that just get started in the process. This is me. I'm Valentin Seehausen. I'm currently a researcher or a PhD candidate at Freebies. Freebies is the Freiburg Institute for Basic Income Studies. And we have a monetary focus. So I coordinate 2 or 3, it's 3 research groups which focus on monetary issues. 2 of them focus on community currencies. Julio Linares is also part of one of the groups, and he will have the workshop after us. And there's a 3rd research group focusing on monetary systems. So how could we actually use the process of printing money to finance the basic income? And I studied pluralist economics and normal economics bachelor. And I work as a web and app developer, which proved to be very useful because we had to develop our app. And I'm still learning. So this might be important. So I mean, I run this workshop, but I don't really consider myself to be an expert in this area. I'm just in this field theoretically for quite a few years, and I started this currency 2 or 3 years ago. So I would call myself still on the way, and I'm glad to share all the experiences I've got with you. And yeah, this is why I said studying a community currency or this field is very tricky. It's very heterodox, and there's no common path that you can follow. So I think it's a very small niche worldwide, and this is why I really love this endeavor of this MoneyLab, and then we can all meet here, because it's really important that we know each other and help each other. Yeah, and I'm glad to be here. So I think the next step is some abbreviations. I think like CC is community currency, UBI is universal basic income, SOCO is a social coin. I will use this later. And yeah, I would like to get to know each other. And so I prepared this Miro board. Just gonna post it in the chat. Where's the chat actually? Okay, you see, I'm also still learning about. Okay, maybe just stop this. Oh, sorry. This screen share.
I think that when you are sharing, you need to go with your mouse to the top of the screen, and I think that there is some way to see the chat when you are presenting.
Yes, right. Yeah, thank you very much. I found it. Here we are. Can you follow the link and go to the Miro board, please? Okay, cool. That's Jody from Berlin. Hi, Jody. Okay, that's cool that you're in Berlin. Start this community currency.
Hi, actually, I'm in Norway now, but I've just left Berlin to do a master's here in Norway.
Ah, okay, wow. I see. Cool. Well, I'm based in Berlin right now, so.
I miss it terribly.
Yeah, but I can imagine that, yeah. I hope you'll come back. Norway's pretty, I guess.
Definitely, when I'm allowed in the country, I'll come back.
Okay, cool. So, are we on? God, well, I'm a programmer, but I've got technical issues right now. So here we are, like, we are all in this community currency Miro board. That's nice. Let's. Do you guys know about Miro? I guess yes, right? Can we please all go to the first wait, I just get you here. No, how does this work? Sorry. To the first or to the second field. I want to map like the knowledge about community currencies. Like there's this, I'll just bring you here. So everybody should be here. Okay, so there's a scale from movies to expert, and I ask you to please copy one of those dots, like choose a color and place it on the scale where you would consider yourself to be. You can copy the dot if you click on one of the dots and press Kommando and C or CTRL plus C. In German, it's STRG plus C. Yes, yeah, one dot would be enough. And
could you repeat the scale? Which color represents?
Oh, there's some problems with the dots, right? But I think we're getting it. The colors don't represent anything.
That's true. Thank you.
Okay, I'm still sharing my screen, right? Actually, I want to stop this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I see like we've got some kind of experts here. I think I have to change something with the dots here. So here we go. Just doing some administrative stuff. Of course, this was the first time I worked with the Miro board. Okay, I understand. Okay. Nice. So I am like most of us are like actual beginners, which is cool. you're drawing in the Miro board, which is totally fine. This is a we just need this board here. We have like can you maybe hover your mouse over? Okay, but most of you, I guess, over your dots. So who's the experts in here? Luis, Fabiano, and a guest. Okay, super nice. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next one. This is more experimental right now. Like I kindly ask you to. I just get everyone here. Yeah, this is a two-dimensional scale. So I would like to know like how involved you are in a community currency. So if you're very involved in the community currency field, then please add your dot at the top. And if you're not that involved, but more interested, put it to the bottom. And then we've got the theoretical and the practical scale, or from the left to the right. So if you're involved in a practical community currency project, please put your dot to the right. And if you're more in a theoretical, maybe scientific or I don't know what field, then please put your point to the left. I hope this was clear. Just map yourself. Okay, cool. So, I mean, we've got some practical, a lot of theoretical. Yeah, just like consider where you want to put your dot. Okay, cool. Nice. Like, okay, yeah. Okay, we are very diverse, which is awesome. So, yeah, maybe some of you guys are interested in like want to start a community currency after this workshop, and I hope like we can help. And actually, like we are kind of involved. I would say, like we are kind of involved. That's cool, and we're kind of practical. Wow. Wow, I didn't expect that we are so diverse. Okay, we really like it. And now, just to collect some interest, if you follow me to the next one, I just bring everyone to me. These are like this post-its where you can like just put down some thoughts, and I would ask you to write down what you expect out of this workshop. So why are you here, and which questions do you want to have answered, or like also like maybe what do you want to like communicate, what do you want to bring in? And so yeah, please copy these post-its and just put them down at this huge field and write something. I think you can write something. Yes, perfect. Yeah, some people just started it. Nice. Basic knowledge, ASD is perfect. Draft. Okay, cool. Okay, I think everybody got it. Well, seriously, like, this is the first time I use the Miro board. Like, I've got so many friends that are coaches and trainers, and they use it all the time, and I just like scrubbed it up, but I'm super happy that it works out. Okay, draft to-do list, study on currency, understand challenges. Okay, practical tips. I would love to. Basic knowledge, insight, token engineering, which is cool. Token engineering design, Demirage UAI system. Oh yeah, I love it. How can the social currencies offer an alternative to money? How to assign the different economic parameters to social currency project. Yeah, this is very interesting. I think I won't go that deep, but yeah, we could talk about it. Yeah, how does it work? Clear overview of the process. Yeah, legal traps. Yeah, genau. Well done. Yeah, start calling with non-EU artist community. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, just write this down. How does the community meet other community currencies? That's cool. Develop trust, their relationship with technology and social currency. Token design. That's awesome. Wow. Demourage plus UBI is a keyword. Fundraise exchange, yeah. Clearing. Okay, awesome. Yes, okay, we have some to-dos. Requirements, nice. How to exchange. Yeah, that's interesting. The exchange aspect is here, like yeah, to like fiat money and to other communities. What digital tokens? Tokens necessary, is blockchain part of it? I would say like fast no. Like we don't use blockchain, but blockchain is a powerful tool, of course. Community currencies and their use for cooperatives. Oh yeah, okay, that's a big one. Co-ops, experiences. Yeah, you get my experiences. How to start one. Okay. I think this feels like, oh yeah, okay, more tech examples. Good one. Yes. Okay. Interoperability in different digital currencies. Yeah. I think we're kind of done with this process. Like, I don't see many pins popping up, post-its popping up. Arts World. Wow. Okay, well, amazing. This was a super nice experience for me, and I hope for you too. Like, cause I know where you guys are and like what you want to know. This is amazing. Thank you very much for that. If you would be so kind and like come back, I just share my screen again. Here we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you very much. So I had a lot of things. Yeah, we had this artist coin. It's about trust. It's about like the token design. It's interested in demourage and UBI system and in like monetary designs of community currencies in general. We have to do and requirements, so the need for really practical introduction and exchange to fiat and to other community currencies was the point. Blockchain was, of course, like you can't talk about currencies if you don't talk about blockchain, and corporations were a point, and technology. So and legal, of course. So this is perfect. I hope I can like provide you with some knowledge, and like as I said, like I really want to have a vivid discussion in the last half an hour. So yeah, what are community currencies? I would say they are still a niche. They've been a niche for decades. Then there was Bitcoin and blockchain, and now we've got this huge explosion of cryptocurrencies. But yeah, from my perspective, I mean, cryptocurrencies still have operate in a very capitalistic way. So they attract a lot of financial money, and there are these bubbles being created, and there's a lot of wealth going on. But if you look at, for example, Bitcoin, like the Gini coefficient is like even higher in Bitcoin than in the real economy. So they are not really a tool to tackle the problems of inequality that most community currencies actually want to tackle, because most community currencies that I know actually have a background of like, we want to have a more equal society, at least on the local level, or we want to have a more social or ecological society, or some community currencies are actually like Mumbaka and Maka. Sorry, I can't really pronounce it in Brazil, where the people is like has like actual problems with the liquidity. So their poverty is an issue. Like we have got this examples of grassroots economics in Kenya, which does a great job in like actually distributing money to people that don't have access to money. Like it's not unbanked people, but it's poor people. So community currencies are a tool to foster social change. There's an international small scene about it, which we connect, and that's us. I would say like MoneyLab is part of it, and like we are connecting now, and there's some other organizations that I want to introduce to you. Yeah, there was a huge momentum, and I think community currencies are on a rise. Like if you look at the UN WFP, like World Food Program Accelerator Program of this year, which was just last week, and I just follow them on Twitter. This is why I know them. Like 3 of 8 startups that got funded were actually like monetary startups. So this is huge. It's a great opportunity. The world is open. So if you want to start it, this is the time. So yeah, the questions is like often like how can we make money work for the community, or like how can we change the economic rules on a local level? And speaking a little bit like in economics term, like often they emphasize the role of money as a medium of exchange. So the concept that you can use money to store value or to hoard it is often like de-emphasized, and like, which it's considered bad even sometimes. But yeah, I don't want to dive too deep into theories here. There are different kinds of community currencies, like there are some that are backed by fiat, like by money, by euro, for example, and you can exchange the currency. This is very easy. There's this mutual credit scheme, which is like very interesting. If you like look at the Via Bank in Switzerland, or for example at the Sardex in Sardinia, this is very interesting. It's just like having a technology for calculating debts. And then there are like community inclusion currencies, like this Saraf from Kenya, local exchange trading systems, time banks. There's this concept that I introduced, like sharing of common resources, like the social coin. And there are so many that I guess I forgot some. Just want to name it here. So yeah, I had a theoretical background. Then I moved to Siegen, studied this pluralist economics, and I met Günter Lange, which has like this local NGO which helps like unemployed people and poor people. And if you look at this, if you look at the picture, Günter Lange is the one at the right side. He's he's pretty much known in this local district. So this is something that I would consider to be a perfect partner for community currency. Like everybody knows Günter Lange. He is an independent politician. Like he has no party, but the people elect him like crazy. Like he got like 60% at the last local election for city parliament. And this is it. Like he doesn't want to go higher, so he's really about like this community. So yeah, like we got to know each other. I told him about community currencies. He thought, he agreed like this would be a great opportunity. So we started to create a concept and to get some funding. And so this is another important thing. Like I would really start with funding, and like we had serious issues getting funding. We got some, like I get paid for programming and stuff, but I would say like this is still not enough. And yeah, but we're on our way. Like we had our first app pilot last year. I started a randomized control experiment, and we actually like launched the app. We realized, hey, wow, okay, the first concept is actually not that interesting for our users. So we are just now in the iteration phase of like creating another concept, because like the first concept was you get the social coin for voluntary work, and you can redeem the social coin for electric mobility, like electric bikes, scooters, and cars, and as you can see on the picture. And after some discussions and with our actual users, like we realized, hey, voluntary work should actually stay voluntary work, because if you start to remunerate people for voluntary work, they perceive the work different than they would have otherwise. So then yeah, we realized, okay, maybe let's just like implement a UBI scheme, like a basic income scheme, and a demurrage system. So we will have the people will just like get this coins for free, and they can redeem it for electric mobility. So yeah, this is our new concept. So this was also on one of the post-its. We can discuss it, but yeah, I would say like this is a concept that might be successful, where you have like a shared common resource, which are the electric mobilities, and the coins are a tool for the community to participate in the consumption of this resources, like renting out a car. So yeah, like this is a social coin 2.0. Like we will have 3 cars at 3 locations. And the members actually want to rent out the car because like some people cannot afford a car, and some people cannot afford electric car. We're also targeting young people, so they just get this basic income and they can pay the rental with the car. And we will have a price mechanism, like because like when we start to issue the coin, like the amount of issued coins will start, so the price of the rental will actually also like increase. But this is totally valid to have price mechanisms. I mean, this is what a community like this is what a currency is for. And yeah, so okay, this was a social coin. Now I want to like talk about community currencies like in more general terms, because I think the social coin has some characteristics that I would say are very typical for community currencies. There's a small team which is highly engaged, and this is often driven by ideology, I would say. So a lot of community currencies have, or like a lot of teams have like this critique of the financial system, and they really want to change something. So what they do is like they have got this tool of a community currencies, and they really want to try to implement it. So I mean, this is me, that this is what I see like in a lot of community currency projects. The funding possibilities are complicated, and this is a huge issue. I think with crypto this will actually change. It didn't really change yet. If you are a crypto or a blockchain startup, you can get like some crazy fundings in like this in this distributed ledger areas. But yeah, I don't have like much experience with this crypto. So yeah, for like community currencies that actually start as a policy, as a local policy, that they still have like problems getting funding. There's this issue of technology, because there are a lot of tools right now to issue a coin on a blockchain, but this is actually not what a community currency needs. A community currency often needs a technology that serves as a digital meeting point, as a marketplace, and which should be very easy to use, because community currencies also target like older people, or yeah, people that are maybe not that tech savvy. And yeah, like compared to blockchain, which is like super complicated most of the time, community currencies should be like very easy to use. And yeah, for the social coin, like we had a look at all the technologies that are out there that you can actually use, and we decided that we need our own technology, because can we mute the phones, please? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so we needed our own technology, because we have this this resources that we share, like this cars that have to be rented out. So yeah, that's another like challenge, to actually find a good fitting technology. It's cool when you've got a developer on board, but yeah, like this should be considered. Like technology is a huge thing, and like I see I see myself working on this for the next years, actually. Like, we have some internal discussions in the Community Currency Alliance, because like some people say we actually have the technology out there, but like my perspective is, hey, we don't have really good technology fit, which is like adaptable to a lot of use cases. We will discuss this later because it's very important. Yeah, the difficulties to fund-wise, I really want to talk about this for a minute, because the society, Heimatverein Achenbach, was considered to be too small for such a project. This is just like the small society which operates in this area for where 10,000 people live, and the community currency was just like we applied for different public projects, but like we were really perceived to be too small, or like this community currency idea, like this coin was just too heterodox, too, I don't want to call it innovative, but like too strange for like policy makers to actually, yeah, put money on it. And also, yeah, I mean, because there's so little, because the niche is so small, there's little research compared to other policies. There's research, but it's not so overwhelming, and like actual results where you can say, hey, wow, this really decreased poverty, or this really helped people, are not in an abundance. But I think this will change. Community currencies are still on the rise, but it's still tricky, let's say. And also there are no public programs for community currencies, which makes sense, because like 10 years ago, like community currencies were highly illegal. Like obviously, like the European Central Banks was not interested in having other currencies in the euro area. So this changes right now with blockchain. So thanks to blockchain for that, but yeah, still complicated. Yeah, just now, like starting to offer some tips, because what we did with the difficulties with fundraising, like first of all, don't emphasize the currency, but emphasize what the currency is for. Like we had electric mobility and we had voluntary work, and with these two verticals, you can actually apply to other programs. So, like, yeah, we can talk about the layer, but if you apply to a program, you will actually have to write a lot of text, like from 2 to, I don't know, 20, 25 pages, like everything is possible. And if you write this text, then maybe rather talk about like, yeah, electric mobility, voluntary work, or like inclusion, or food security, or poverty evasion, or whatever you want. But just, yeah, don't talk too much about like the currency. Just use the currency as a tool, or just use like 10% of your space to actually describe what the currency will do. And don't frame your project that, hey, we create a new currency that's going to change the world, but just like this normal policy project where you can actually get funding, and which also policy makers or like administrative workers that decide about money can understand, because it fits into the framework. And do a patchwork. Like we actually had 2 different programs funding, or like where we used money to fund the social coin. First one was BVAC, where I'm employed as an app developer to develop a app for the city district, and not for the social coin, but of course we implement the social coin with the app. And we had another program which was actually about unemployed people, and it was a project for unemployed people, and we just used some funding to develop the social coin, because we said like the social coin will actually help unemployed people to get into work. And they'll also be better than us, because like I said, like we are still learning, like we are patchworking it. And if you like, I don't doubt that several people of you like will actually like be better, like get a huge funding for a community currency, which I really want to see. So yeah, talking about legal issues. Yeah, this is a big field. There are some resources that are linked. I will. Where can I put the links? I would just send a document, or Aaron or me, we will have a solution. So I'm going to like give you all the links that I just quote in this presentation, because there's some new regulation in Germany and in Europe, but we were not quite sure if this actually applies to community currencies. So the question is, are community currencies a virtual currency or a unit of account? So this actually makes a difference. And there's a legal toolkit from the Community Currency in Action program, which was funded by the European Union a few years ago. They've got like this really cool, like, I'm really grateful for Leander Bindewald to operate this project. Like, they've this cool decision matrix, which I had a picture of, and if you go to this website, like you will find this decision matrix, which is like, is your community currencies exchangeable against fiat? Yes, no. Do you give credit? Yes, no, and so on and so on. And in the end, you will actually like kind of know what is most probable your legal status. And most of the time, you actually have to write to the to the authority. In Germany, it's the BaFin, it's the Bankenaufsichtsbehörde, oder was? Like it's the department that actually supervises and controls the banks, and which, by the way, are also like totally fucked up and at this Wirecard scandal. So it's the same people. But to be on the safe side, you should actually write them. And in our case, like most probable, this is no legal advice at all, sorry, I'm not a lawyer, but most probable, like we ask for an exemption of the payment service legislation, because like this is our argumentation. Hey, we use this coin as a tool. It's not interchangeable against euros. It's only members of the society. It's only internal. It's very small. So in our argumentation, from our perspective, we are not a virtual currency. So we ask for the exemption of this payment service legislation, and then you might not get an answer. So you will actually most of the time don't get okay from the regulator. The best thing that they can say is like nothing. So they don't give you an okay, but they won't stop you. But yeah, this seems to be like the best thing that could happen for you. But maybe yeah, this is what I'm hoping for. Like, we will have new rules for community currencies in the future, not now. So yeah, this is still a thing. But don't be afraid. Like, there are several community currencies that are actually like going, and yeah, so this is totally doable. Yeah. I just make a very small break because I would like to read the chat and see if there's something going on in the chat. Where's the chat? Just making a very small break here. Okay, cool. I see there are some toolkits which I didn't name in the presentation. Like we've got the Faircoin, we've got the Sociality Co-op, and yeah, maybe I should maybe you should present it in the last half an hour, because yeah, there's so many tools. Airbnb Co-op, wow, which is amazing, nice. Okay, yeah, let me just finish my presentation, and then let's just go to this to a chat with each other. So I'm back on the presentation, still sharing my screen here, talking about technologies. Yeah, as you can see from the chat, like there's so many approaches to this, like so many new technologies and so many yeah, also startups that want to like propose their solution. Like when we did the research, which was like 2 years ago, like we saw that technologies are very limited in their adaptability. Like we have Cyclos, and Cyclos was the most important technology in the last decade and more. They have a developer team of like, I think 10 developers, and they develop like this banking software, which is actually used by actual banks. And they also have a community version, which is free, and it's very safe. There's even a consulting firm doing consultancy. So if you've got like some funding, like this it's a safe way to go. And the issue that I had is like I had the feeling that the user interface is like kind of outdated, and the app is like very complex and very complicated. And because we were targeting users that are not that tech savvy, it was just like it was just too old. It seemed like Windows XP, like, and like we live in the year, like we live in 2021 now. So yeah, I really wanted to have something more sexy. And yeah, we have Circles. So Julio will introduce Circles, which is an amazing tool, but which also has a like very concrete monetary system behind it. I mean, they've got a built-in inflation, and they've got this UBI, and yeah, it didn't really serve our purpose. And like we all have trust lines, and I have to say that like we are like I'm in this research group at Freebies with Circles, like with people from Circles and Trust Lines, and Trust Lines offers this great. It's a really great software. It's also a really good app. Circles too, like, but Trust Lines is like this mutual credit system. So if you want to start a mutual credit system, I think Trust Lines is really cool. And but we didn't want to start a mutual credit system. There's Fuse.io. I didn't really check out Fuse.io. I never went through the process, but I know that food banks in Spain uses Fuse.io, and they've made great experience with it. Fuse.io has their own blockchain, and they offer a white label solution. So I will check this out, and I'm really curious about like the solution to actually have an app with your logo and maybe even your colors in it, which actually builds on their technology. So, but this is what they promise. And there are some more, but this is not true. Like there are a lot of more, and I think like we have at least like 2 or 3 projects in our in this chat. So I'm super happy to learn about this. But yeah, like we develop this software right now. We will open source it, and of course, I would love to create the software which is actually usable for all the projects. But I guess like I'm also just a human being, and it's a very complicated endeavor. So yeah, let's see how this works. But it's a huge plus point if you've got if you've got a developer on board, or you've got enough money to actually pay a developer. Oh yeah, this is the app that we are planning. Like, but I mean, these are the basic requirements for community currency projects, I would say. Like, of course, we need a dashboard to control minting and all the statistics about the coin. It should be very easy to use, and I emphasize very because like I don't want to have a key phrase that the users have to save, and like it should be as easy as WhatsApp and stuff. It should allow for distribution mechanisms as UBI and demurrage, but it should not be limited to it. So of course, like we will use like UBI and demurrage. Did I introduce demurrage? Demurrage is basically a wealth tax. So if you've got 100 coins, you have to pay 5%, like a small percentage of it as a demurrage, and this percentage will be redistributed as a basic income. So most of the people will actually have an increasing account balance, and like people that are over the medium medium account balance, they will actually have a decreasing account balance. So this is a way to redistribute wealth in general and redistribute community currencies. Yeah, and talking about the app, yeah, there should be like sharing of resources, like rent out the cars. There should be a job marketplace. There should be a news feed. And yeah, as I said, like we plan to release everything open source, but yeah, maybe I could release it right now, but I just want to make sure that everything works good and that the code looks good. So if somebody wants to help, hey, we are here. But still, if we open source it, implementation will require a developer. So if you want to start a community currency project, like most of the time you will want to have technology, an app or a website and stuff, like you will require a developer. This means like you can develop, or you have enough money to get a developer, or you've got a very idealistic developer. But I would, it's better to get money and pay a developer. And oh yeah, this is our tech stack. Like we use Flutter, which renders cross-platform apps, and we use Firebase. I would be very interested in your opinion, because Firebase is the backend as a service project of Google. So we actually use Google backends, and I know that a lot of people were actually very critical with like huge companies, but the technology is like just so good to use. So yeah, I would be very interested in your opinions. Maybe just write it in the chat right now, like if you would be okay with using Google software, like Google backend software for your community currency, or if you would be totally opposed, and if this would be a show blocker for you. Yeah, because we don't use blockchain. So yeah, I was pretty fast. So I'm kind of done with my presentation. Like these are just like some tips for a community currency project, and yeah, dumping all of my knowledge now into this presentation. Like yeah, like start with funding, because like a lot of community currency projects like start with very idealistic ideas and stuff, and then people burn out because they have to work aside, and then they really want to focus on the community currency. And yeah, like this happens so often that it could be avoided. Like get some funding, like somehow, especially for yourself, because like at Social Coin, I was just like, hey, this is what I want to do. I really want to focus on the Social Coin. This is my life purpose. So I don't need money for it. And then in the end, I realized, hey, I'm still studying, so I still have to work. Okay, I work at the side, but then like I'm just switching in between like this side hustles and this project of Social Coin. So I tried it, like been there, done that, but yeah, I think it would be better like if you actually, if your job would be to create the community currency, and try to get a team. So it was super like Social Coin would not be possible without me meeting Günter Langer and him having the society. So the team aspect is very important, especially because it's way more fun to work in a team and to motivate yourself. And yeah, you know, choose an easy and good software and technology, obviously, and start with your users. Like invite the users and tell them about your plans and do some workshops and try see how they react to your ideas. So because I mean, this is a lean startup theory. Like you should like test your idea as fast as possible and like get actual feedback from your users. Like, but you can read this everywhere. I'm not the first one to say this. And yeah, focus on the benefit for the citizens and do marketing with it. So because like one narrative is like, hey, are you fucked up with the financial system too? Do you want to change the world? Hey, start to use our community currency, and because this will actually change the world needs and so on. So I mean, this is the ideology that actually drives me, but this is not the reason why users will actually take part in our community currencies. They are more interested in, hey, do you want to drive an electric car, or did you always wanted to do volunteering work, but you never knew how to step in? So like, I think this is a one-on-one on marketing. Like, just like start with the benefits of the users, and yeah, don't be too political about what you actually offer, even though you are politically motivated. And another thing that I found surprisingly easy is to talk to local politicians about it. And like the mayor of the city of Siegen was like not so interested, so we actually stepped one level higher, and we talked to the to the guy of the parliament of the state, and like he was super open, and like he really helped us, and he was like, hey, can I connect you to this people, and hey, why don't you apply to this funding program? And like, so just do it. It helps a lot. And yeah, as I said, at the highest possible level. So maybe a mayor won't really like understand what you do, but on the next level you might be happy because you're on one hierarchy level higher than the mayor. The mayor has to follow like most of the time. So this was really beneficial for us. And yeah, just before we go into a discussion, these are the next steps that I would ask you to do if you're interested. Like, first of all, join the Community Currency Alliance. We have, it's very easy. We've got a Telegram channel. It's very active. It's very international. There's a lot of help. There's a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of discussion, philosophical discussion going on too. So it's really cool. As I said, we have this Freebies. Freebies is a university institute that I'm affiliated to, like a research group where Julio is part of, and also like Alisa from Tosslines is part of. And like, we try to build this international network and to actually create resources for new community currency projects. So yeah, contact us or just go to the Community Currency Alliance channel, and yeah, and you will realize you're not alone. Like, we are huge, like we are a niche, but we are a lot of people. And yeah, or just contact me, and I just I just set you in contact, and I'm pretty sure that together we can make it happen. Which I feel really empowered by networks like MoneyLab and Community Currency Alliance. And as I said, I'm still learning, but yeah, I'm super happy to share everything that I learned on my way. And I'm super happy to learn more right now because, yeah, this is my last slide. Finished a little bit earlier than expected. I will just stop screen share right now and see the chat. Yeah, how big is my team, Jakub? Okay, full-time. No, yes, I'm working part-time on, the question is, how big is your team, Valentin? And most members working on it full-time or some kind part-time. So I would say like it's like what we do is not ideal, but it's adapted to the situation. Like, I work on it part-time, and the other part-time, yeah, I've been a developer, now I'm a PhD candidate. And we had a UX UI designer working part-time for half a year, and we have this society, and the people work in the society. They do like different stuff, like they work in an office, or they also offer like German courses and stuff. But like, we can actually use this resources to actually rent out the cars or like white news. And so there are people employed that can actually work on the social coin. And Günther Langer does actually, yeah, like he has so many projects, like he has only a few hours. What takes the most work? Yeah, like for me personally, it was really development. So like developing the app, but it was also the first app I ever developed. And this took the most work. Yeah, like as I said, we just get started. So okay, another big work package was just for the preparation. Yeah, just talking about like before we started, writing applying applications for programs. So writing these applications, like this huge amounts of text to actually apply. And yeah, community building, like, yeah, we just started. Like, the cool thing is there's this working community. And okay, I'm not quite sure about like what I will say right now, but maybe better focus on your team, like community building in your team, and then start with user workshops or with the MVP, with a prototype, and then invite your users. Like, you're not responsible for the connection in between your users. Like, I know Julio will tell you a different thing, because like he's doing a lot of connection between local businesses to actually join the community of circles. But yeah, I think for the first, like really focus on your team, and then like have a prototype and start with a very small user base. And if you've got a user base, then start to do marketing and like maybe run workshops with like the community, I would say. Yeah, I would actually maybe we should also ask Diana from Community Coin, because she has done a lot of effort into community building. So maybe in another workshop, like we could have it with her, because but they yeah, they lacked like this development things. So they had a huge community, but like the technology wasn't keeping pace. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your questions, Jakub, and good to have you here, by the way. Jakub contacted me over the Community Currency Alliance, so we are all together. Oh, okay, Fabiano wants to know the funding for a community currency project. Fabiano, ask this question, please.
Yeah, good. My question is because I'm studying the community currency from Brazil, from Maricá. It's very different because this currency is inside the universal basic income of the city. So, and then it's a kind of easier because the government receives money from the royalties from the oil construction. I think 1 million or 2 million reais. And then the government issue the currency and also register a lot of different stores and distribute the money. So there are actually 20,000 citizens, I think 20,000 or 40,000, I don't remember the real number now, but there is a lot of citizens that they receive this basic income in form of the community currency, and they can exchange this in any kind of store. There are more than 5,000 stores or shoppings or supermarkets or anything that they can use their currency and buy whatever they want. So in your case, talking about an NGO, how does it work? Because how do you approach a partner? For example, hey, you go to a partner and say, hey, we are issuing now, creating our community currency here. They want to have you as an affiliate, so our beneficiary, these people that are going to receive the money, could exchange this currency for your service. Let's say a bike shop. How it's working in this way? Like, how much money do you need to invest in the beginning? And how to approach these different kind of stores and firms and industry in your project? Because I think they have they can say no to you, or they can say, for example, no, we won't accept euros here. Your community currency is not interesting for me. So how is this challenge?
Yes, right. Yeah, the project you named in Brazil is like super interesting. We're looking at it with the research group, and Julio has a really good contact to it. And this, yeah, just to give some background, like it's because like this is a community currency that is actually used for a UBI experiment. So this is what we call like CC UBI, community currency UBI. And it's very interesting because like there was this municipality, like this mayor, like, and he like they needed a tool to actually distribute the money, and they used the community currency. And I think this is a new kind of community currencies that are actually emerging right now. We have got like other examples in South Korea, for example, and they, of course, they've got some benefits. Like they've got the local politics being on board, or actually like initiating this project, and they they had money, and so like the first characteristics is like they would have a one-to-one exchange to like the fiat money. So if a shop actually accepts the community currency, like the shop can like has some kind of security that the shop owner can exchange the community currency back into like normal money. So yeah, this was easier. And yeah, to a question like how to approach stakeholders as an NGO, I like get a strong partner which is actually known in the community. So this is what we had, like because Günther Langer, like everybody knows him, and so like we could approach the other NGOs and the other shops like quite easily. Point one, but on the other hand, like we are not exchangeable against fiat. Like there's no backing. Like we start to create like this other economic sphere, totally alternative and like totally disconnected from the euro exchange, which is basically about like sharing these resources. So, but from my experiences, like local shops are very open for your ideas. And for example, I've been talking to this restaurant owner, and I said, "Hey, you've got this pizza of the week. So why can't you sell like 2 of these pizzas every week for the social coin?" And he really liked the idea because it would be marketing, and of course, like he would give something back to the community. Of course, this is good for his reputation of being social. So yeah. Maybe, yeah, does this answer your question? And like first, and maybe then about budget. Okay, we are applying to this project where I would love to have like something like 300,000 a year for a few years, because like I would love to have like a full team of like a few people working on it, and then we've got this cars and this infrastructure. So, but this is a really huge project that we are applying right now, which is like super insecure, like if we get it, like we just don't know it, but this would be amazing. And what we've done right now was like we had, I think, 20,000 a year, I would say. Okay, but with buying the cars, it's like maybe we put into it like 35 to 40,000 euros maybe right now. So yeah. And yeah, I mean, the question is like how much money do you need to work on it part-time or full-time? So yeah, I would ask this. Does this answer your question, Fabiano? Okay, cool.
Yeah, one question. So you applied for funds, this 40,000, and with this money you bought the cars, and the cars was the exchange for the community currency.
Yeah, right. Kind of like, okay, the cars were outside of our budget. Like the society has some is like a society like is like this NGO, you know, like it's a social corporate issue. I don't know how to translate it to English, like Verein in German.
Yeah.
Verein. And we had the like they have other projects, so they have an income. They bought the cars. It's electric cars, and there was some subsidies for electric cars in Germany. Like this was outside of like the actual budget for the social coin. I'm employed at another project where I just have like a small part-time employment, where it's actually about unemployed people. And yeah, then there was this third thing of like which was basically the idea was that I could focus, I could work full time on the project for 5 months. So I just got additional money, so I didn't need to freelance at the site. So this was really like this patchwork that we had to apply. Yeah. And yeah, the big project is I just talked to this politician, like to this high politician, and like he said, "Hey, why don't you apply to this program?" And I said, "Hey, can you write me this letter so I can actually apply to this program?" And so I did it, and they just sent back, "Hey, like not in this situation, please like give us more information. And so I'm just in this process, but yeah, still learning how to get money from the States. Yeah. So are most members working on full-time? Yeah, no, unfortunately not. We have some people, like, for example, Jody from the Faircoin and Greg from the Sociality Co-op and stuff. Do you maybe want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do? Just briefly, just maybe in 1 or 2 minutes. Jody, do you want to introduce the Faircoin? I'm not from Faircoin. Okay, but you're just posting it as an example. And Greg, are you up for introducing like the Sociality Co-op? Who's Greg? He's not here. Okay. Domenico, maybe you want to introduce Fairbnb, which sounds super interesting.
Hello. Yes. So actually, we are a cooperative based in Italy, and we are trying to create a platform that really promotes community-powered tourism. So the idea is that the platform is decentralized. So each destination has a local community developing the project. And what is interesting, I think, is that we try to avoid as much as possible gentrification and also promote local economy. So a really short little percentage of the fee is used to promote and finance the whole platform. So actually I'm here because we are really interested in how we can create a sort of local currency, because all the transaction we could have between people using the platform could promote a more sustainable approach to the tourism globally. For instance, promoting a shorter displacements, shorter travel more than larger travel, because it's more sustainable. So visit what you have around you. So having back rewards on community currency with this approach, and also locally, as we are creating local communities around the visitors, we can promote a more sustainable economy. So using maybe the same community currency. We know it is complicated. It's more for the future. Now we are just promoting the platform, but yes, it's our aim.
That's super cool. And I just had a brief look, and like your software looks actually like really good and working. Can you maybe share like how did you finance it as a co-op, and like what were the challenges in like developing the software?
Yes, as a cooperative, we so far we have only 2 kind of members. There are worker members. I am a worker member, and financing member. So the financing member so far put the capital to promote. This is an Italian way to promote cooperatives. There are several, and actually each member as well, we also invested some money. So far we financing ourselves with these cooperative capitals. We had also financing from Banca Etica, which is a ethic bank in Italy. Mm-hmm. And now we are in the conversation also with the cooperative federation. So in Italy and Spain, there are huge cooperative federations that are interested in be part of the project. So far mainly is this. For the future, actually, we will promote a sort of equity crowdfunding. So we will open new way to be member of the cooperative. So with less money, it's like a DAO, let's say, not really DAO, maybe hopefully in the future, but we will have more and more members. So travelers and hosts be member of the cooperative, and they could have a short part of the the cooperative, and we could be financed without losing governance and power on the cooperative, because the power that the financing member has on the governance is limited to 30% of the vote. So the workers were still in control of the cooperative. So with this balance, we are getting sustainability approach with the economic without losing the control of the cooperative.
Cool, thank you very much. So you are actually doing it very professional, right? You do a lot of like effort into like building up the cooperative structure, and you actually have like some people being full-time employed, like.
Yes, a lot. We are. I mean, we are more than 20 people working on this. Yeah. It's not huge, but it's not little. And actually, we are opening soon in Berlin. So there is, yes. So.
Yeah, definitely contact me about it. I know some people that are definitely interested in it. Yeah, great. I was asking these questions because, like, okay, this is not a community currency that you do, but this is a community cooperative, and you develop the software, and I think this resembles like somehow like the community currency and endeavors, and so yeah, sounds super interesting, and congratulations for you being so successful. But like as you see, like there's a lot of effort into it, and there are like 20 people working on it, and I think this is what makes a good project.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And there was one other interesting message in the chat. I don't know, Mark Liberati, are you still here? Like you're from the UN, and maybe you want to. I don't know if you want to be on the call. Like just I don't know. There you are. Hi. Good to have you here. Like maybe could you say like 1 or 2 words about like why the United Nations and like the aid work is actually like going into community currencies, like just to give a broader spectrum of the yeah.
I mean, I think if you look, I mean, there's a few interesting projects that I've been following. I mean, not just on the, so you were talking not to focus too much on the DLT side, but I mean, there's been projects on using community currencies in humanitarian context, and I think Sarafu is a great example of that's happening in Kenya. So I see though, as this becomes digitized, and you can't detach the digitization of currencies from the digitization of all the other aspects as well, and how those will interplay with each other. And in thinking about the potential for programming, so often, I work for United Nations Volunteer Program, which is part of UNDP, which is United Nations Development Program, and a lot of work goes into like coming up with development projects and having different metrics and indicators upon which you would, that your project's going in the direction you want for the policy outcome for the SDGs you're looking for. And I think this has this sort of token engineering with a policy component for looking at the metrics that will give you the indicators that you're successfully achieving the results that you want, that you can do good donor reporting, is highly attractive. And then you add into, allowing for, because it's ultimately programmable money, and it's programmatic at its core. So you can start thinking about all those beautiful programmable ideas that end up on paper could now be embedded in a very smart way. So I think that's what I get very excited about by working policies. I'm a little bit biased. Internally, we're working on this project, Unicoins, which is an internal token. We won a sort of internal challenge called Reimagining UN, and we're a cross UN team. So we're just building a white paper now, but we want to make a time token to, like you said, for people to collaborate across the systems. It's a very siloed organization. So you mentioned WFP. So WFP, it doesn't really work so much with UNICEF, with UNDP, all these different agencies. You see this in bureaucracies as well. I don't think this is any so different. So you can just imagine a better way of bringing people together. And it was a time token for that collaboration. And you could maybe, we're coming up with different approaches. So we haven't fixed it yet, but one is that you'd have people that could budget the time. So say you have a project that wants to do 100 hours, you budget that with your unicoins, 100 unicoins, and then that would set your project team This is where you get into the voting aspects, where then maybe that allows you how much you put in, or you can come up with different voting models on how you just make decisions in like agile decision making in projects, and then allocating that time as other people in the ecosystem would take on those tasks and validate those tasks, and then you can do interesting data analytics on as you're seeing those coins move around, as you're seeing time being created for the SDGs and how it's working across the system. So that's our inspiration. We're working on the white paper, and that's why I wanted to join this workshop, because we're now moving into the technical implementation part, which I think is going to be where the rubber hits the road, so to speak. So anyway, that's a bit too much for me already. So
okay, wow, okay. Thank you very much for introducing that. What I find super interesting that you actually mentioned monitoring, like you get a lot of data from all the transaction, obviously, and yeah, the connection to actually you restructuring the United Nations, because like, I mean, you can implement the coin, yes, but I think you are trying to break up this bureaucratic silos and actually like foster like collaboration in between the different departments, like, and use this coin as a tool to allocate like your time resources. Did I get it right?
Yeah, because Young UN's an informal network inside the UN, and we sort of we work on Slack and we jump together and make little initiatives. So it was a bit inspired by that model, which is already breaking the silos. Although we do it volunteering, we do it in our own free time. But so it's a bit. That's why I was really interested in the way you're talking about the volunteering aspect. Also, I work for the volunteer program because I think it has inspiration more broadly in our online volunteering platform, like as something that could be utilized in a bit more scaled up. But it is tricky then when you're, that's why a good dispute resolution mechanism is also important. I mean, that's my lawyer side speaking, but then looking at how you're going to deal with the questions of, it's like a billable hour ultimately, right? You're saying this work's going to take 8 hours, and a manager is incentivized to say this is, all managers want everything done yesterday and in 5 minutes, and people might say this took me a little bit longer. And how do you determine what is, it's like when you take your car to the auto body shop. I mean, they'll tell you it's going to, they'll bill you a lot if you don't have any sense of how that works. So and people are being honest, but you will have different views. How long something should take, how long something does take, is that accurate? You can use data analytics to start giving you metrics on, that might give you an average. So once you get that data in the system, but it is then thinking about how we'll deal with those disputes in a community-based way. That's also the idea, is like a lot of the, which I do like about some of these models, in allowing the community to make those decisions in a very consensus-oriented way. But it's, again, setting the details of those rules.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes, it's super interesting because, like, I mean, you could also like just start to track time internally, and then you would have like this information too. And then, sorry, one last question, because I find it interesting. Are you looking into blockchain? Because it sounds like this is an UN internal project, and I would say like, hey, you could like use an Excel sheet or like use a centralized structure, server structure. But it sounded like do you consider blockchain, and why?
Yeah, great question. There's someone that's not muted if they're just, but no, we actually we did prototype it just to before the Reimagine Challenge, and that's what we did. We did an Excel file where we had people self-report.
There's someone which is not a.
Sorry, that was the sorry, that was me then, I think. No, sorry, yeah, we did the prototype with an Excel file. So, and then we just gave actual like printed badges just to test the theory. There is a lot of hype around blockchain. So like you talked about funding, but it actually is, it's called the Atrium. They're building an interagency blockchain network. It's an enterprise blockchain, so not the super exciting permissionless kind. But they're just, because you do have different systems. Like I said, they're big bureaucracies that they built on their own ICT governance structures, their own systems, and they don't connect very well. So they're trying to then create this, I think, a prototype of what a decentralized UN looks like. And so it's more the inspiration of what this means. Then you could network it a different way, but that's what they're going for with this Atrium, where they have 3 nodes right now. So it's WFP, UNICEF, UNDP. I think they're going to expand them. And then there's something called Digital ID, UN Digital ID, which is actually a very cool project. I can share the link if you want, but it's a blockchain. It's also an enterprise blockchain solution to network all the UN entities and have one record of truth, because each one has their own HR system, HR, that you get access into the buildings and all this. It does cut through a lot of bureaucracy. I mean, so in a pretty seamless, I mean, it's just the accounting. The blockchain is just the accounting layer, but that keeps the record of, one record, which I think is very useful. And then you can build on that. They have facial recognition. You can get these push notifications. It integrates well with the security. So it was thinking around how we could build on that anyway. So we don't have to actually add too much on the blockchain. We just want to add basically like another box in that personal account, because you're going to get the ID. And then you'll just have the record of how many unicoins you have in your current wallet. And we're exploring lifetime wallet, because the lifetime wallet might give you sort of a gamified user rights in the system. So you would have an incentive to contribute more, because that's what we want. We want more people contributing. Yeah. And this would also allow for those who have sort of, it's a bit of a meritocracy, I guess, in that you're building your user rights from the base of people that have contributed, and it does it over time. But this also allows them to spend their unicoins without losing those accrued rights.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you very much, and I hope this is. I hope you will have great success with it. I mean, you've got a great environment. Like UN has obviously more funding than most community currency projects, and
we have no funding at the moment. We're doing this on, and we want to do it on volunteers. Actually, I think that's the point, is to show that you can come together. We're going to see how much in-kind contributions we can scrap together. I think that,
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I would love to hear more about it. Like maybe you join the Community Currency Alliance, and
I took note of the website. I actually was checking it out. I will.
Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, cool. Thank you very much, Mark. And we've got like 7 more minutes. Maybe somebody else wants to ask a question or like tell about a project or something like this. I'm super open for anything. Maybe just have some silence and maybe somebody just drops in.
Well, I can talk, I don't know. We're talking about social currencies, and for me, at least, the roots that I have from social currency, it's an agreement between a group of people in order to have any kind of exchange, whatever it is. So beyond that, it's technology. The roots from the experience that we have, at least here in Portugal and in the north of Spain, social currency exists for quite a while, 20, 30, 40 years. And actually, the system was this, a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. What I've noted, my number of my coins that I could exchange with a number with my neighbor. And we had the system was a trust system. So I will put on the paper and he will put on my paper, and no one was faking the papers because we had values and concepts that were designed directly into our own communities.
Right.
So currency is exactly this, is designing a group of values that are beyond any kind of technology, because all of the technologies, they can all be hacked in a way, if it's a piece of paper or an algorithm. And that's the root of, and the most important and difficult part is exactly to get a group of people that are in tune with this group of values. In Porto, we had that experience, but we were a couple of friends that were already making exchanges, naturally exchanges, whether it was from work or from food that we produce. And later on, from that group of exchanges, it grew up because we wanted to connect to a broader, large community in the city. So then we started to search a different technology that could help us to continue with the same model. And the same model was exactly trust. And then we went to Cyclos. And from Cyclos, so we have the technology, and then we have trust. And from this, what are we going to do with this? You need to produce, so we need to satisfy needs. And that's the community where that's where the social or a social currency remains and exists. The problem that we get up to after 2 years was because in Lisbon there's another group that wanted to start their own social currency. In Covilhã, the same, in the center, the same thing. In the south, the same thing. But a social currency is designed to have a local authenticity in a way, not only on the name, but because it's defined by a group of values. But at the same time, there may be elements from this community, for example, in the north, that wants to go to the south. And in order to continue to live with the same approach to the economy, we need to find a way to have this kind of exchange, a currency from the north to the currency from the center to the currency from the south. So we would like to add at the moment the mobility factor to the design of this currency. And then that's where a lot of problems had arrived, because the system that we were using were not allowing, and we were using cycles, was not allowing this. So we didn't want it one national social currency. We wanted so that each community could have its own social currencies. And at the time we blocked in a way because we could not find the proper technology to facilitate this process. And while we talk about a proper technology, is like Valentin was saying, cycles is quite interesting, but it's not very easygoing for someone that is not on the tech side. And especially today that each one of the users, they are very demanding in the way that they interact with the app. And that's what I question there, if there is beyond blockchain, because blockchain is a remarkable technology. It helps really a lot to define the data in a certain agreement in a digital space, no more than that, and you can add value to it. The market can add value to it. But beyond that, my question is there today any kind of technology or software that can make me exchange all of these currencies that exist? For example, that I can go to Italy or that I can go to France and exchange the value of my own currency for the ones that they had there. And that's the turnaround. Is not only that, but also the, let's talk about the remit. How does all of these social currencies have designed in a way that they can change or exchange with the value? For example, in Portugal, we can exchange it by euros. But in other countries, it's not possible because the laws, because in Portugal, we don't have a law. So we have an open hole. So we can do the things and no one can say, yes, you're not allowed to do that thing. But I believe in other countries, it's not possible.
Yeah.
But the question remains, how can we exchange all these currencies and add this mobility, and the value can flow around geographies, for example?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks for the question. And also, thank you very much for introducing your project. I saw a question about it. So it's really great to hear about it, because community currencies were active in your region for decades, just using paper, just using trust, and actually building on the social network of the real social network of actually people knowing each other, trusting each other. And yeah, this is really amazing. It's cool that you use Cyclos, and it's good that it worked out, and also that you confirm me and the flaws I see in it. And we have to come to an end. It's 1:30. Time was just flying by. But this question of exchange, it's just highly discussed in the Telegram channel of Community Currency Alliance. There are several approaches. There's Will Ruddick of the Zarafu building on this community inclusion currency, building on blockchain, okay, but he has this exchanges with liquidity pools. We could use markets. Other people would say, hey, if you want to have capital mobility, you should use the euro, of course, and so you could exchange the euro and back. But this is a question which is to be honest, still highly discussed. I'm not so much involved because I really want to focus on hey, what can the local currency do to actually keep the capital in the local area. But of course, like there's mobility, so this is an important thing. I just leave it as an open question and as a reminder and as an invitation to join the discussion at the Community Currency Alliance. And yeah, coming to an end, yeah, I'm super grateful to have you guys here. I'm super grateful that you gifted this great talks, the small participations in the discussion. I really enjoyed it. I learned something, and seriously, like please feel free to contact me about. Here's my email address. And yeah, I will find a way with MoneyLab to actually like distribute all the links. And thank you very much. This is it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. See you.
Bye-bye.
That was great. Thanks, Valentine.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.